Assalamu alaikum dear students. Let's continue the topic mechanical properties of fluid. In the last lecture so far we have studied the capillarity and capillary action. Similarly, we have seen the rise of a liquid level inside a capillary tube as well as fall of a liquid level inside a capillary tube. It is just a pressure difference which led the liquid to move in upward direction in a capillary or in a downward direction in a capillary tube. We have seen the reason why the liquid level rises and why the liquid level falls. Today what we have to do, we all know that whenever a capillary tube is dipped inside a liquid which completely wet the solid or which partially wet the solid, the liquid level rises inside the capillary as compared to the level outside it. So here today we are going to find out the height up to which the liquid level rises. This height we'll have to search the formula for it. So there are two different ways we can search out the formula for the height of a liquid level. Let us find out. There are two different ways we can easily determine the formula for this height of a liquid level. So let's see how we can calculate or we can estimate the formula of H, height of a liquid level rise in a capillary tube. So let's quickly study it. Here we are going to learn two different methods. First method is using pressure difference. You all know that it is just a matter of a pressure that is why the liquid level rises inside the capillary tube. So first one is method 1. Here we are going to use the formula of pressure of a liquid column inside a capillary tube. So here we have taken only a capillary tube. This is a capillary tube inserted in a liquid which completely wet the solid or which partially wet the solid. So whenever this capillary tube is dipped inside such type of liquid, the liquid level will rise up to a height h. This is the height h we have taken into account. And see the liquid meniscus over here. It is concave in shape because the liquid is either it completely wet the solid or it partially wet the solid. So liquid meniscus will be concave. Then similarly, when we draw a tangent to the liquid surface at a point of contact with the solid, as you all know that this is a solid line over here, we have drawn a tangent at a point of contact, and the angle which is measured inside a liquid, you all know it. What does it call? It is called as angle of contact. So this theta represents the angle of contact over here. Similarly, here this concave surface is a part of a sphere, or you can say it is a part of a bubble, as there is air there is air above it. So it is a part of a sphere, or so that sphere will have a certain radius. So let us draw the radius of this concave surface or radius of this liquid meniscus. Let that radius be capital R. Capital R, please keep it in mind that this capital R is a radius of a concave meniscus that we have taken into account. Now, small r. Let's talk about the small r. We all know that our capillary tube is cylindrical in shape and it is having a very fine bore inside it. Throughout its length, the capillary tube is having a very fine bore. You might have seen this capillary in an ink pen or a fountain pen. So that capillary tube is also having a radius. Radius of the capillary tube is small r. It is the distance between the center of the capillary to its edge. So here we have drawn this small r, that is from the center to the edge of the capillary. This small r is the radius of the capillary tube. So as this angle is theta over here, and this is a perpendicular drawn from the radius. So this perpendicular, if this angle is theta, this is an angle 90 degree. And what do you say about this remaining angle? This remaining angle is 180 minus theta. This is, if this is 180 minus theta, then this angle will also become theta here. So this angle is theta subtended by the radius of the capillary and radius of a liquid meniscus. This is also equal to angle of contact. Then what we all do this, we all know that this liquid meniscus, you might have studied the pressure, excess pressure inside a liquid drop or inside a soap bubble. So we are going to make use that formula only. Similarly, pressure of a liquid column is H rho G. So this pressure will be exactly equal to the excess pressure inside this liquid meniscus. So excess pressure is having the formula 2T upon R, where T is the surface tension over here. So here pressure of a liquid column is exactly equal to the excess pressure of the liquid meniscus. So here we have written the formula for the liquid column. It is H rho G. Pressure of a liquid column is H rho G, where H is a height of a liquid rises in a capillary tube, rho is the density of a liquid, and G is the acceleration due to gravity of that place where we are conducting this experiment, which is equal to 2T upon R. You all know that this is also a formula of excess pressure. We had derived this expression in the last to last lecture. Similarly, keeping this as equation number 1, these two pressure will be exactly equal. So keeping this as equation number 1, then we can find out the formula for radius of a liquid meniscus. Radius of a liquid meniscus, as you all know, see this angle is theta. Can you determine the value of cos theta? Cos theta from here is, cos theta is opposite, adjacent upon hypotenuse. So adjacent side of this triangle is small r and hypotenuse is capital R. So cos theta will have the formula r, small r upon capital R. Then from this equation we can write this equation, capital R is equal to small r upon cos theta. So here we are having this as equation number 2. Now keeping the value of small r, capital R in equation 1. So our equation 1 will become H rho G, LHS will remain as it is, H rho G is equal to 2T will remain as it is. At the place of capital R we are writing R upon cos theta. So R upon cos theta in the denominator will come to the numerator. So our expression will become 2T cos theta upon small r. Now from this equation we can extract the value of H. Rest of the thing will be taken to the right hand side. H will have the formula 2T cos theta upon R rho G. So in order to measure the height of a liquid column inside a capillary tube, you need to know surface tension of a liquid, angle of contact of a liquid, acceleration due to gravity of a liquid, density of a liquid, and radius of a capillary tube. Once you know the formula, once you know the values of all these things, you can easily get the value of height of a liquid column rise in a capillary tube. So this formula of H we are going to get. This is one of the method. By using pressure difference, how we have calculated the formula of R. Let's repeat it once. Here we have taken a capillary tube. Liquid rises in a capillary tube will have the height H. liquid meniscus will be concave over here. Concave liquid meniscus will have a radius capital R, and let small r be the radius of a capillary tube. Now equating the pressure of this liquid column as a pressure, excess pressure of a liquid drop 2T upon R, we can get this formula H rho G is equal to 2T upon R. Then from the geometry of the figure, we can write the value of capital R as small r upon cos theta. Then substituting the value of capital R in equation 1, we are going to get H rho G as 2T cos theta upon R. And finally from this expression, we will get formula of H as 2T cos theta upon R rho G. So this is a 4-step derivation, very simple one. If you know each and every step, derivation will seems to be quite easy for you. Now let's move on to the another method. This is also very simple. Here we are going to make use of the forces. As in the topic mechanical properties of fluid, the only force that we know here is the force due to surface tension. So let's make use of that force. Whether we can calculate the formula of height, whether it comes out to be equal to like this or not. So here what we have taken a capillary tube. It is inserted in a liquid which completely wet the solid or which partially wet the solid. So again the liquid, we all know that the liquid level will rise up to a height h. Let h is the height of a liquid column rises inside a capillary tube. And liquid meniscus is, again, it is concave. Liquid meniscus is concave over here. So this is the concave meniscus over here, and this concave meniscus will appear like a lens on the surface of the capillary tube. So that is why we have drawn the liquid meniscus in the form of a lens. So again, when we draw the tangent to the liquid meniscus and when we measure this angle will comes out to be equal to theta. On both sides of the capillary tube, angle of contact we are going to get. Remember that we are taking only 2 points of the liquid meniscus. As we all know that this liquid meniscus is circular. On the top, from the top of a capillary tube, you are going to get such type of liquid meniscus, and this is the depressed level of a liquid because of a surface tension. So at a time here we have taken only 2 points. There are various points which are in contact with the capillary tube, as the capillary tube is all around the liquid meniscus. But we are taking only these 2 points. There are various points which are in contact with the capillary tube. So for the sake of convenience, let us consider only 2 points. And these 2 points are, fortunately, they are diametrically opposite point. So let small ft be the force due to surface tension of a liquid. So the force due to surface tension, you all know how the force due to surface tension is going to act. It is going to act tangential. So this is the direction of Ft at these 2 particular points. The liquid will try to minimize its surface area. So that is why the forces due to surface tension will be acting like this. So here we have drawn these 2 forces, Ft and Ft. And see here, if this angle is angle of contact, as this is a surface of a capillary tube, if this is a surface of a capillary tube, if this angle is theta, then this one will also be theta. So that is why here we have drawn this small theta over here. So what we will do, if you consider only this part, of a capillary tube, you'll come to know that this force due to surface tension is slightly tilted. It is to be resolved into 2 components. The 2 components are Ft cos theta and Ft sin theta. Here we are having our theta. So the component of this one will become Ft cos theta, and this one will become ft sine theta. So ft is to be resolved in two parts. Ft cos theta will be acting vertically and ft sine theta is perpendicular to it. So ft sine theta we are going to get like this. Similarly, on the other side of a capillary tube, again this ft is to be resolved into two parts. Ft cos theta will come along the lining of a capillary while ft sine theta will appear perpendicular to it. So at a time we have taken only these 2 points. The forces due to surface tensions are resolved in two parts into two components, ft sine theta and ft cos theta. When you count the forces, these forces will become, number of these forces will become 4. So 2 points will have 4 forces, and when you compare these forces you will come to know that, see the direction of ft sine theta here and ft sine theta here. So these two ft sine theta, for the two diametrically opposite points, they are going to cancel each other out. When diametrically, if this is our circle, you will come to know that the direction of all the ft, for all the points on the circle, the direction of ft sine theta will be exactly equal and opposite. For these 2 points, ft sine theta are going to cancel. Similarly, for these 2 points, ft sine theta and ft sine theta going to get cancelled. Similarly, for these 2 points, ft sine theta gets cancelled. Here also and here also. So all the ft sine theta components of the surface tension are going to cancel each other out. Only ft cos theta component will act on the liquid meniscus. And all the ft cos theta component is, if this is our liquid meniscus, all the ft cos theta components are being vertical. These are the direction of all the ft cos theta. This ft cos theta is going to act throughout the circumference of a liquid meniscus. These are the direction of all the ft cos theta for all those points on the liquid meniscus. So all this ft cos theta are going to be added, and that is why, because the direction of this ft cos theta is vertically upward, this ft cos theta will let the liquid level rise inside the capillary tube. And how long the liquid level will rise up to the capillary tube? Till this ft cos theta balanced by the weight. This is the total upward force acting on the liquid meniscus. But we all know that the liquid level will rise only up to a height h. After reaching the height h, the liquid level will not rise. At this particular point, you can say that all the upward forces are going to be balanced by a certain force which is acting in a downward direction. And you all know very well that weight of a liquid is acting in a vertically downward direction. Gravitational force will come into play over here. This gravitational force is now going to balance all these upward forces. So here we will have to equate all these forces. So let us calculate total upward forces. Total upward force is nothing but force on the one point of the circle is ft cos theta. There is only ft cos theta. Ft sin theta components will cancel each other out. But throughout the length of the circle is, what is the length of a circle? 2 pi r, where small r is the radius of a capillary tube. 2 pi r into ft cos theta. For one point, only ft cos theta will come. For all the entire points, you'll have to multiply it with length. So this is the total upward force acting on the liquid meniscus. Give this one as equation number 1. Now let's calculate this. All these upward forces are going to be balanced because the liquid level will rise only up to a certain height. Beyond this height, the liquid level will not going to rise. It means what? These upward forces are now being balanced by the weight of a liquid column inside the capillary tube. So let us calculate the downward force acting on the liquid meniscus. Downward force is nothing but weight of a liquid, which is nothing but mg. Similarly, at the place of m, we all know that mass is nothing but density into volume. So rho is the density and V is the volume of a liquid column over here. Now we can write this equation as volume of a liquid column, as the entire capillary is cylindrical in shape. So volume of a cylinder, you all know it is having the formula. At the place of V, we are going to get, right, V will be replaced by formula for the volume of a cylinder is pi r square h. So at the place of V, we are going to write pi r square h into G. So rho pi r square h into G is the total downward force acting on the liquid meniscus. So when you equate these two equations, we all know that upward force is exactly equal to the downward force. So equating equation 1 and 2, we will be getting, equate your equation 2 pi r ft cos theta is equal to rho into pi r square h into G. So see what we are going to get over here. And we all know that force due to surface tension, it is written as T only. So at the place of T, Ft, we can write T only. Cancel 2 pi r T cos theta is equal to rho pi r square h into G. Then pi is going to get cancelled. One of the r is going to get cancelled. On the LHS, we will be getting, LHS will become 2t cos theta is equal to, what will be remaining in the right hand side? Rho r h G. Then from this equation, we can write the formula of h. H will become 2t cos theta upon r, G, rho and G. All will come in a downward. R, rho, G. So again we have got the same formula for height of a liquid column rises inside a capillary tube. See, you can compare it with the first method. So in this way we can easily determine the height of a liquid column. Let's repeat this method again. Here we will be equating the upward forces and the downward forces. Upward force, total upward force will come out to be equal to 2 pi r ft cos theta, where ft will be replaced by t only. Now downward force is mg, weight of a liquid column, rho, v and g. Then v is the formula of volume of a liquid column inside a capillary is pi r square hg. So after equating equation 1 and 2, we are going to get the same formula of height of a liquid column as in the first method. Similarly, from this equation, we can write down the value of T. Surface tension will become H rho r g H r rho g upon 2 cos theta. With this equation, you can determine the value of surface tension of a liquid as well. So in this way, we can easily calculate the surface tension and height of a liquid column. Similarly, you can have one more formula. You can derive one more formula from this equation. Can you write down the formula of R, radius of a capillary tube? We can write it as keeping R as it is and taking all the quantities to left hand side. We will be getting R as 2t cos theta upon h rho g. So these are the three main important formulas that we can derive from this two method. One is the method of pressure difference and the other one is the method of forces. Using the forces method also we can derive these two formulas. So here the two derivations have been completed. Two different methods have been completed. Hope you all have understood the topic. Thank you. Let's stop here.